this one's for live. Oh, there's Sydney there. Yeah, let that go first. Then
Close this meeting, go together with this. Yeah.
We're good to go. The record.
Right over this book. Right there. Right there. Yeah.
This
And
thing's
then-
too short.
Yeah, keep trying to record the computer. Whoa. Okay, do it again.
Good to go. Okay, Hans, we're good to go.
Good evening, everyone. Before we start, I will remind the committee and members of the public that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the Township's YouTube channel. This meeting is being held electronically to the COVID-2 pandemic. Precautions and measures are in place regarding social distancing to ensure the health and safety of those in attendance at the municipal offices. Anyone who has registered to participate in the meeting will be invited to speak in the order of the applications being heard. I will now do a roll call of the committee for the benefit of the public watching this meeting. When I call your name, please wave at the camera or say here or present. I, Hans Potkamper, am present and chairing this meeting. Committee members, Jim? Present. Tim?
Got a wave there.
Linda?
Present.
Thank you.
Charles?
Present.
Reno?
Present.
Nancy?
Present.
I will now provide an explanation of the procedures for this meeting. Each application will be read by Nancy, and she will ask each applicant to make a brief presentation, not to exceed 10 minutes. The committee will be given an opportunity to question the applicant. Any other person who has registered with the recording secretary and is wishing to address an application, either for or against, will be given an opportunity to speak. Please make sure you have tuned on your microphone and video and identify yourself clearly for the recording secretary. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, the committee will make a decision on the application. Once discussion on your application is complete, please mute your microphone and turn off the video. You are free to leave the meeting at this time or remain and listen to the balance of the applications. The applicants are advised that each application has a 20-day appeal period as required under the Planning Act. The last day of appeal for each application heard today is February 10th, 2021. At this time, I will ask if any members of the committee, if they are declaring a pecuniary conflict of interest for any of the applications. Members?
No.
At this time, no.
There not being any conflicts? Nancy?
The first application today is for minor variance application A1 2021 for Keith Shantz for the property located at 19 Snyder Avenue South in Elmira. The property is zoned residential mixed medium density and contains a dwelling and a detached garage. The applicant is requesting relief from section 12.5 to reduce the required rear yard setback from 7.5 meters to approximately 1.7 meters in order to permit the construction of a 63 square meter attached garage to the rear of the dwelling. The property is located at the corner of Snyder Avenue South and James Street. The existing detached garage is proposed to be demolished. Keith, if you'd like to say a few words to the application to the committee.
What do you want to know?
If you had anything further to add to the application, or essentially you're just there.
No, I don't.
Do any members of the committee have any questions of the applicant? There being none, may we have a motion? Linda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move. There wasn't anyone else that wanted to speak against it first, though?
No, the additional parties are here for the third application this afternoon.
Just checking. All right. But Mr. Chairman, through you, I recommend that minor variance application A1 2021 concerning the property known municipally as 19 Schneider Ave South in Elmira to request relief from section 12.5 to reduce the required rear yard setback from 7.5 meters to approximately 1.7 meters to permit the construction of a 63 square meter attached garage to the dwelling be approved. And there are no conditions.
I will second that. Any further discussion? Vote, all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thank you, Keith. I will mail the decision to you and you can hang up now.
Okay, thank you.
Reno, can you unmute the phone call at the bottom? 122. Yeah, click on the ask. Nope. Oh, okay.
No, it's just good.
Yeah, so, no. Joshua, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm going to move to the next application. Hugh and Sydney, if you'd like to unmute as well.
I have unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes. The next application is for minor variance application A 2021 for Joshua Brubaker for the property at 335 and 341 Hill Street. The property is zoned agricultural and contains a dwelling, a livestock farm, storage sheds, garage, and a woodworking shop. The applicant is requesting relief from the following. Section 4.1.1A to permit an expansion to a legal non-conforming use, being the woodworking shop. Section 6.12.1 to permit the loading space to remain in the front yard versus being located to the rear of the building line. And section 6.13.4 to reduce the total number of required parking spaces from 8 to 5, including 1 barrier-free space for the woodworking operation, in order to permit the construction of a 264 square meter addition to the existing 267 square meter woodworking shop. Hugh, if you'd like to speak to the application, please.
Thank you, Nancy. Members of the committee, Mr. Chair. Thank you to all those in attendance and listening as well. My name is Hugh Handy, and I am a land use planner with GSP Group, and I'm here on behalf of Joshua Brubaker, and I believe you've heard him on the phone today. He's also here along with my colleague, Sydney Bailey from our office. We were engaged probably in 2019 to assist Joshua with the expansion, proposed expansion to his woodworking shop, Cedar Valley Designs. The application before you today is to look at the expansion of this longstanding business since 1999 to permit the addition really for a number of matters, but to make operations safe with inside the building, for storage, to move the office components around, really to modernize the business. We've worked back and forth with township staff, regional staff, GRCA to bring this application before you this afternoon. We've reviewed the report and the recommendation before you today. If approved, this application would require another level of scrutiny, site plan approval, which we are aware of and that is recommended before you this afternoon. We believe the application before you is logical and represents good land use planning, and we look for the support of the committee today, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Members of the committee, do you have any questions?
Sorry, go ahead, Linda.
No, it's okay. I'll go, Charles. Okay. I don't have any questions of either the applicant or their consultants, Mr. Chairman. I have no concerns with the application. My only concern had been at the time of doing the site inspection was the proximity of the wetland, and reading through GRCA's comments, those have all been addressed. I just have a question for staff. Just with respect to your comments, Reno, wanting to make sure, because there is a condition of the site plan, just to confirm my clarity in your comments, that all of the items that you addressed in your comments under the internal comment section, you're satisfied or being addressed through the site plan process?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, Linda, through the site plan process, we will address the comments in the report for that. All the comments there will be addressed to that site plan application, so.
That's all I had, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Charles?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair, that was exactly what I was going to ask as well. So my questions have been answered.
I have a question for the applicants. It would appear that your lumber is at least partially stored in a barn on an adjacent property on the other side of the wetland, requiring back and forth trips on the road across the bridge with tractors hauling lumber primarily. Will this addition increase or decrease that traffic?
It would decrease that traffic. That's part of the purpose of doing the addition.
Thank you. Any further questions? Any member of the public wish to speak? There being none, how does the committee wish to deal with this application? Charles?
Sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that minor variance application A2 2021 concerning the property as 335 and 341 Hill Street be approved subject to the site submission of the approval of the formal site plan application.
Do we have a seconder?
I will second that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried.
Thanks, everyone. Joshua, and
Thank-
I'll mail the decision to you, and I will email the decision out to the consultants.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee.
Thank you very much, Township staff, for approval.
The last application today is minor variance application A3 2021 for numbered company 2564960 Ontario Inc. for the property located at 13-15 First Street East in Elmira. The property is zoned general industrial urban M2 and open space O2 with site-specific regulations in section 26.1.266 and contains a warehouse building which was the former bowling alley. The applicant is requesting relief from section 6.13.1, section D, to reduce the required ingress and egress aisle width to a parking area from 6 meters to approximately 5.4 meters to permit the development of a parking area to the rear of the building. The applicant is proposing the construction of a 560 square meter warehouse addition to the rear of the building and a 220 square meter showroom/retail area addition to the front of the building. John, if you would like to unmute, if you can turn your video on if you'd like, and speak to the application.
Yeah, so I don't think I have a whole lot to add to that. We're just trying to work with the existing conditions there and gain a little bit of parking and access to the warehouse at the rear of the building. There's still good sight lines. It's a direct line front and back, and we're just kind of tied with the 6 meters there because of the existing condition. So nothing really to add other than that.
There are 2 members, Steve, and can you unmute Mr. Schaefer, please? Steve, if you'd like to unmute.
I did.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, we have 2 members of the public who are attending the meeting this afternoon for this application.
Fair enough. What,
Jocelyn Schaefer.
what comments do you have to add to this application?
I have no comments to add. I just wanted to be here to hear the procedure because we're involved with the Legion next door. And as far as we're concerned, we have no objections to the minor variance at all.
Thank you.
Mr. Schaefer?
Yes, thank you for the invitation. We have no concerns whatsoever. We just want to be good neighbors, and this is something that we have never been involved in before, so we just thought we'd just come and listen and try and understand the process, and thank you for letting us come.
You're welcome. Members of the committee, do you have any comments or questions? There being none, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, it's Tim Cronin. I would move that minor variance application A3 2021 concerning the property lot 118, 120, parts 3, 4, and 10, known as 1315 First Street, request relief from section 6.13 to reduce required ingress egress aisle width to a parking area from 6 meters to approximately 5.4 be approved.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I will email the decision out.
Thank you.
Okay, so next item would be the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, it's Linda here. Nancy, did I hear you ask about the minutes?
Yeah, I just indicated that the next item of business would be the December 21st minutes.
I do have a comment on page 2, just because I know I was the one that asked the question. So I'm a little confused by the figures in the 4th paragraph about the square footage. They don't seem to jive. It's advise the building is 1,600 square retail area and approximately 165, but I don't think that jives with the application. So I just think we need to correct that because I know there were some concerns and we had quite a bit of discussion on that. So I just want the comments to reflect. I think the notion there was that the retail was going to be much greater than the processing. So I just want to make sure that all the figures are correct on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I will review the numbers, but I think the issue with the retail was to be the small, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're correct.
You're right, I do have this. So the retail is approximately 165 square feet. And there are also areas for cooling, consuming storage, and common processing area. So Mark, the last sentence actually is my mistake. It should read, Mr. Del Bello commented the retail area would be about 10 to 12% of the building capacity. Does that make sense, Linda?
Well, no, it doesn't to me, because my question actually was, what was the scale of the processing portion of the building? And my understanding at the time was that it was 10 to 12% was processing and the rest was retail. So that the larger component, because that was a concern that I had, I didn't want to see this location to be processing. I thought it was more retail. So that to me, with the 10 to 12 processing meant there was less processing and larger retail area. And that's what satisfied me. So I want that to be come through in the comments that way.
Yeah, okay, so, and Reno's confirming there that yes, the processing area was larger. I will double check the numbers. Do you want to, how do you want to do that then? Would you like me to resend them out and we look at these minutes in February?
I'm comfortable that if you review them and make sure the numbers reflect that discussion and the intent that the processing ended up being less than the retail. That's fine by me.
Okay. Right, so then, yeah, so then if you want to put a motion forward in that respect that we're voting on, the minutes as amended essentially as per your comments there.
As long as there was no other, I didn't have any other comments to the minutes. I don't know if there was any other comments. If not, I'll put that forward. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the minutes of the December 21st, 2020 meeting of the Township of Woolwich Committee of Adjustment be approved, subject to the clarification on page 2 in the 4th paragraph, reflecting the square feet percentage of retail versus processing in the building to reflect the usage of that property.
I'll second that.
Good chance, thank you.
We have a motion and a seconder. Is there any further discussion?
Does that clarify it, Nancy? Just to,
Yes, it does, Linda, thank you. And I will listen to the recording again to get your exact wording for that for the motion. And Reno and I will go back and review the numbers tomorrow.
There's no further discussion. All those in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion is carried. Any further business for this committee?
No, there's no further business today.
Then I'll seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconder?
I'll second it.
Show your hands. All in favor? Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks.
Hey, Tim, I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure, Charles, go ahead.
Is your house so big that you can't yell like the rest of us throughout it, that you need an intercom?
My father-in-law built the house and it worked for him, so old technology. I'll put a picture up there.
I thought maybe the yelling was a bad thing, but I take it that's what everybody does.
Yeah, absolutely, Charles.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Everyone.
I somehow lost my video. The whole Zoom thing came up and I'm like, wait, my video's gone. But at least I'm still connected with that audio.
Do you need some signatures?
I think someone's on top of it.
That's a stretch.
And you stop the YouTube recording? Perfect. I'm just gonna go get Shad and then he can take a look at that. So when it says save 52 years, that's already going to be designated spot. Me too.
If you can send me that stuff in the next day or so, then I'll put some kind of a presentation together for the Heritage Committee.
Sure, yeah,
And I'll run it past you. I'd like your feedback.
sure, not a problem, yeah, I will try and get that to you tomorrow.
And, yeah.
I think Reno's got everything else stopped. He's become the master.
No,
Right. Hey, how are you? Excellent. So you want to try to see if you can,
I want to get into Zoom, so maybe the next meeting I will do it.
for sure, yeah. Have you used Zoom on here before?
No.
No?
Process.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
The last line.
Yeah, that's
the
okay.
last one is great.
But-
Process.
but-
Process. Middle paragraph. Which references talking about retail.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. I can swing around here. I'll, what I'll do first is I'll load it up. You can sit in the chair if you want to swing it over.
Can I end this now or no?
I just gotta connect this to the internet.